Good evening. My name is Angie Mcdougall, President of the Board of Directors. On behalf of your board, I would like to welcome everyone to the 100th annual meeting of the Otter Farm and Home Cooperative and the start of our 100th year anniversary celebrations, that is, as a locally owned company in BC. Thank you all for joining us on Zoom tonight. We will do our best to make this evening a great experience for everyone in attendance. Our mission: to provide quality products and services in our communities to ensure growth, sustainability, and member satisfaction by delivering exceptional service and value. At this time, I would like to call the meeting to order. For our June 1, 2022 annual meeting, we had 55 members and 4 guests, including Darlene Thorborn, our district director from FCL, registered by the May 31 deadline. Only those votes in tonight's motions and resolutions will be tabulated for memberships purchased prior to February the 15th, 2022. Guest votes do not qualify. At this time, I would like to introduce to you your board of directors as pictured here. Charlie Fox, Vice President, is the chair of the Nominations Committee and is on our Member Relation and Scholarship Committees. Darwin Osserchuk is on the Finance Committee and sits on the Member Relation Scholarship Committees. Carlo Benetti is on the chair of the Governance and Policy Committee and sits on the Nomination Committee. And they're not in order as the pictures are there, okay? Shannon Todd Booth is the chair of Member Relations, Scholarship Committees, and a member of the Nominations Committee. Ian Elliott is our Member Relations, Scholarship Committees, and Governance and Policy Committees. John Plett is on our Finance Committee and Nominations Committee. Brian McPherson is the chair of the Finance Committee and a member of the Governance and Policy Committees. I would like to recognize our presenters this evening. Jack Nicholson, our Chief CEO. Eduardo Fuente, our Chief Financial Officer. And on behalf of our auditors, Debbie Bass, representing the firm of Myers, Norris, Penny. I will now call on our Marketing and Community Relations Manager, Kelly Myers, to read the notice of motion.
Thank you, Angie. Our notice of virtual annual meeting was published in the province newspaper, as well as on social media, Otter newsletter subscribers' email, and all our locations, and it read: Otter Virtual AGM, Wednesday, June 1st, 2022. Call to order 6:30 p.m. Webcast through Zoom open 6:15 p.m. Virtual annual general meeting to discuss 2021 financial reports, President and CEO reports, and appoint 2022 auditors. Registration required to participate is open May 15th to 31st. Register at web URL provided or by scanning the QR code. Please note tonight's agenda posted here. Your package included last year's AGM minutes and the 2021 annual report. This material was available on our website and was emailed to each member that registered by the May 31st deadline. Thank you. I would now like to turn it back to our board president, Angie Mcdougall.
We will follow the agenda as posted and continue with number 6, adoption of previous AGM minutes. Just another reminder, the minutes were circulated in your email package as well as on our website. The minutes are moved by Vafa Alidase, member number 42988, and seconded by Alicia Caldwell, member number 36111. We will now run the poll feature for members to accept. Carried. Business arising from the minutes. Is there any business arising from the minutes? Please type into the chat box. I will give everyone 10 seconds. Thank you. Seeing none, we will move on to reports. The reports are printed in your annual meeting package. Our presenters will give a highlight overview of them. If you require any clarification on any of the reports, please type into the chat function and we will attempt to answer at the end of all the reports. I will start with the President's report on page 9 of the annual report. I will not read my entire report, but will touch on some of the highlights. Yes, Otter's 100th birthday. Such an exciting time in our history. And your board has been very diligent in working with our senior leaders to plan and grow Otter for the future, making sure we remain relevant and will be here and growing for the next 100 years. A couple of highlights from my report include that your board of directors continued to meet both in person and virtually throughout last year, keeping a pulse on the happenings at the co-op, overseeing financial results, and approving growth opportunities for the future. As part of our 100th anniversary celebration, your board approved 100 $1,000 donations to community groups in our trading area. That's an additional $100,000 of community support on top of the more than $450,000 we donate yearly on a yearly basis. Our last year was record-setting, and we know with the plans and projects that we have approved, the coming years will continue to exceed this phenomenal sales year we have enjoyed. Again, a huge thank you to Jack and our senior team for all the hard work and dedication they give to the co-op. Integrating all our new business lines and locations and over 200 new team members behind the scenes and making them part of the co-op family, delivering on our mission and vision values to all the communities that we serve. Also, a huge thank you to our entire co-op team for all their hard work in serving our customers and members safely during some difficult challenges with the pandemic. The team definitely stood on the front line and kept our doors open to serve you. As one of my last functions, I would like to announce the recipients of the Otter scholarships. There were 24 applications for grade 12 and 3 applicants for mature scholarships. These scholarships are in addition to the 8 scholarships we also award to 4-H students. The scholarship committee, chaired by Shannon Todd Booth, included Darwin Osserchuk, Ian Elliott, Charlie Fox, and myself. All names were redacted, and the committee rated the applicants according to a set criteria. All of the applicants were fantastic, and it was indeed difficult to choose. That being said, here are this year's recipients. Grade 12 Scholarship 2022. Marcus Peters from MEI. Max Smith, Robert Bateman Secondary. Esther Bolima, Langley Fundamental Middle and Secondary School. Kia Kang, Credo Christian High School. Sam Price, W.J. Mowat Secondary. Pavanpreet Brar, Rick Hansen Secondary. Signe Spencer, Brookswood Secondary, and Hope Booth, Langley Fine Arts. Our 2 mature students are Paige Patterson, attending the University of the Fraser Valley, and Dallas Knoll, Okanagan College. Congratulations to all of the recipients, and a thank you to all who applied. At this time, I would like to take a moment to thank our outgoing board member, Darwin Osserchuk. Darwin has been on our board for the past 6 years and was a dedicated member serving you and looking out for the best interests of the long-term viability of the co-op. Thank you, Darwin. You are a valued part of our board team and our co-op community. After this 100th annual meeting, I will have completed my 9 years on the board. I will miss being part of the board and helping guide and approve the growth of Otter. Though I know that with our dedicated board of directors and senior leadership team, our co-op is in good hands. Thank you. I would now like to call on Jack Nicholson, CEO, to give his report.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to welcome you as we hold our 100th annual general meeting of the Otter Co-op. 100 years, definitely a significant accomplishment and achievement that we can all be very proud of. There is a CEO report on page 6 of the 2021 annual report. I won't read it, though I will point out a few highlights. Again, as a reminder, if at any time during the reports you have a question or need clarification, please type it into the chat, and at the end of the question or at the end of the reports, we'll get to those questions. This meeting is taking place virtually as we continue to work our way through a new normal and changing ways of conducting business and meetings for the future. It does offer a great opportunity for our members that live at a distance to be able to attend, as our trading area now runs throughout the Fraser Valley and the Okanagan. Our team continued to focus on and deliver on our mission of providing quality products and services in our communities. I'd like to take a moment to thank our board and senior leadership team for their continued dedication, their guidance, and commitment to Otter as our retail continues to grow both in size and complexity. We added 20 new Otter Co-op locations throughout the year, something again that the entire team should be very proud of. A special thank you to our frontline team that worked through the continued challenges in 2021 to serve our community and their needs, and as Angie mentioned, keep our doors open. This annual meeting, as a reminder, is in review of our 2021 fiscal year, which ended on February 28th, 2022. Our CFO, Eduardo, will be sharing our financial results with you shortly. I would like to highlight that strong community support through the pandemic assisted in achieving sales in excess of $375 million this past year, and that is a $130 million increase over the previous year. Bottom line savings after income tax were just over 17 million, though just almost 4 million of this were due to the fact that we had to sell our property in Pitt Meadows to make way for a transportation project that's going forward in that community. From those earnings, our board approved an allocation of almost $6 million back to you, our member owners, and that is our co-op business differentiation, sharing our profits back with those that support us. The remainder of our earnings were used to invest in assets and inventories, pay down debt as we continue to build and improve on Otter Co-op's business model and look forward to our next 100 years. I'm extremely proud of the results that our team was able to achieve given the economic factors and all the challenges that COVID presented throughout the year around the world. As noted, our team acquired 20 new liquor locations throughout our trading area, again making Otter Co-op the largest private liquor retailer in the province. These new Otter locations added over 220 new job opportunities for our co-op family. I'm also proud to share that 35 of our internal team were able to take on promotions and career advancement at Otter throughout the past year. A strong commitment to success and growth is evident from our board of directors and our senior leadership team, as the decisions and direction being planned and executed are not just for today, but again to continue to take Otter Co-op well into the future. Otter will continue to improve our assets, grow our sales and services, and return our earnings back to the communities in which we live, work, and play, so that we remain relevant and continue to build on our 100 years of history. That is the co-op business proposition. We are a profit-sharing company, sharing our profits back with our members, our team, and the communities we do business in. The membership also directly benefits from these results as we continue to give back a significant portion of earnings, not only through equity and cash back, but also through the more than 450,000 that we do in donations and sponsorships into our communities on a yearly basis. Throughout 2021, over and above the 20 new locations mentioned, our team worked on several significant board-approved projects that we anticipate going to construction over this next year. We have new gas bars and convenience stores being built in Lake Country, Kelowna, Kamloops, and Mission. We have new card lock facilities that are going to be built in Merritt and Cache Creek. We are replacing our bulk petroleum plant here in Aldergrove, building a new food store in Mission, and the acquisition of several Husky locations throughout the province, expected to close sometime this fall. It is rewarding to know that our loyal team, which includes our members, our employees, our board of directors, remain the key in keeping Otter Co-op the viable and growing business that it is today. We could not have done it without your dedication, loyalty, and support, and I thank you. I sincerely thank you for making the past year another success and look forward to the opportunities that continue to be in the future for Otter Co-op. And I'd just like to take a special moment to thank Darwin Osterchuk, our outgoing board member, and also Angie Mcdougall, who's our outgoing president. Darwin served 6 years on the board and Angie has completed 9. They've been a significant contributor to our growth, involved in many of the projects over the last few years that we have worked on to bring Otter Co-op into the future. And just a sincere thank you to them for all their hard work and dedication on your behalf as members of the co-op. I'd now like to turn the meeting over to Debbie Bass from Myers Norris Penny to give our auditors report.
Thank you, Jack. Good evening, everyone. On page 10 of the annual report is where you can find a copy of the independent auditor's report for the 2022 fiscal reporting period. As it always does every year, the report communicates that management is responsible for the financial statements, and as the external auditor of the co-op, MNP is responsible for reporting on whether the financial statements are free of all material misstatements. We are pleased to report that we have issued an unmodified audit opinion on the 2022 reporting period. We therefore found the financial statements presented fairly in all material respects, the financial position of Otter Co-op at February 28th, 2022. And this year, our audit report was dated April 20th, 2022. Thank you, and I will now turn it over to Eduardo for his financial report.
Thank you very much, Debbie. And at this point, I would like to quickly remind everyone, if you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat. And I would like to share some of the financial results with all of you. And so first of all, I would like to say that this is was a very successful fiscal year, and as we move through these difficult times, we continue to see that the total sales, as you can see in the presentation of our divisions, they saw double-digit increase versus budget. That's just a great achievement considering all the factors that impacted our opportunities to grow. Yeah, and we continue to grow. We're very optimistic about the future. That's a reality. The average price increase in feed and fuel drove sales growth, and also feed division of Bulk Petroleum also capitalized in incremental tons and liters, respectively, for incremental total sales. Organic growth and unbudgeted new acquisitions drove the incremental sales in liquor division, as expected for this fiscal year. Retail sales were lower than budget, as we can see in the presentation, especially because of food and general merchandise were below budget due to the high level of uncertainty due to COVID, which also affected our hospitality operations. In general, it was a very successful fiscal year regarding sales. We're certain that developing several sources of revenue is another reason why Others continues its success. Over the last 5 years, we grow our product offering as a diversification strategy to prepare our co-op for the future. It is important to mention the consistency that Otter maintained over time on sales and how the operations added to our offering, as Jack's mentioned. Over 20 new liquor stores were acquired last year, are driving part of the growth. In average, over the last 5 years, sales growth were 14.3%. It is a great success story. Our margins were challenged all year, and it was very difficult to achieve over the last fiscal year. But quick action from operations to reduce operating expenses, and also debt management were factors that added to our bottom line. An additional non-recurrent items, as Jack mentioned, the sale of pit meadows also supported a very positive bottom line. We are glad to continue to be close partner to FCL, as the loyalty and patronage payment received from FCL added a very healthy 11.2 million to our bottom line, ending the year at 17 million after taxes, which is a very good number, and it represents a fantastic year for the Otter Co. But also, we continue to focus on sustainable long-term growth. For this reason, we are very satisfied to see our assets consistently increasing year after year. That shows how strong and well positioned how strong our balance sheet is and how well positioned the Otter Co is. Also, finally, and we are very pleased to share our profits and savings with our memberships. And for this past fiscal year, our board of directors approved a patronage allocation of 5.9 million. This allocation is given back to the community, and it was approved by the board and these rates that you can see on the screen. And now I will turn the presentation back to Jack to answer any questions.
Thanks, Eduardo. As Eduardo says, it's a very good number. We're excited for the patronage that we were able to return, and that some of our commodities had a increase from our 2018 year and 2019 year. And so very proud of those results that we're able to achieve. I'm just going to wait another 10 seconds to see if there's any questions that come up in the chat. We have a couple of congratulation messages for Darwin and Angie. We'll make sure we get the folks' names on those to them. And seeing no other comments, I make a motion that all reports be accepted as presented. Jack Nicholson, member 51108, and that's seconded by Brian Halagi, number 10975. We will ask you to vote via the poll option. And that's carried. We will now go on to the resolution for appointment of auditors. Brian McPherson, member number 73541, moves, and Darren Shartner, member number 202793, seconds the motion that we appoint Myers Norris Penny, MNP of Abbotsford, British Columbia, as our auditors for the fiscal year 2022. If there's any discussion, please type it into the chat box now. Seeing none, we will now have you vote in the poll. And that's carried. In your registration email for the annual meeting, we asked you to send in any comments or questions that you might have in advance. We did receive one. Dear Otter Co-op, now that Vancouver has lost its only food co-op, is it possible Otter might expand into the Vancouver market with food co-op and pharmacy? I think the Otter brand, cooperatively owned, local, Western Canadian products would do well in the Vancouver area. So we do continue to look for food, pharmacy, feed, fuel, and liquor opportunities throughout the province. We do look throughout the Lower Mainland as well. I would just like to comment that the East End Co-op has closed their downtown store on Commercial Drive, but they have not wound up that co-op. So we have not specifically looked at a food opportunity in their trading area, but we do continue to look for those opportunities throughout the province in our trading area. We'll just wait a couple more, 10 more seconds to see if anybody has any other questions that they put into the chat. And seeing none, again, I would just like to thank everybody for coming out to our meeting tonight. And again, congratulations to to our new board members that Angie is going to welcome right away here. And also again, just thank sincerely Darwin and Angie for their service on the board. And I'll now turn it back over to Angie to announce the election results and close our meeting. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Jack. We would like to share the results with you now, even though it's a ill-kept secret. Director applications were accepted January 29th to February the 28th at 5 p.m. We received 5 candidate applications. Voting was open March 7th to 14th at 5 p.m. Of the votes cast, the 3 successful candidates are Bev Dornan, Gus Hartle, and Deanna Horn. I would like to congratulate Bev Dornan, Gus Hartle, and returning director Deanna Horn. Welcome to the Otter Co Board of Directors. You will conduct an official oath of office and signing in at your next board meeting. Thank you to all 5 candidates for your interest in serving as on Otter Co-op as director. Terry Kaufman, member number 26323, makes the motion that Simply Voting securely maintain the election votes for the required 90 days and then destroy at the completion of the 90-day period. Seconded by Darren Glencross, 109375. If there is any discussion, please type into the chat box now. Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. On behalf of your board of directors, CEO Jack Nicholson, and the entire team at Otter Co-op, we would like to thank you for attending our 100th annual general meeting and for your ongoing support. We are very excited to be celebrating our 100th anniversary with you this year. May you and your families continue to stay safe. I would like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Angie Mcdougall, member number 4249, seconded by Darwin Oserchuk, member number 32541. Meeting adjourned and good night.